Destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Playoffs about a week away. Some games had playoff intensity and some felt like the end of the season in the NBA last night. And that's what you're watching as you go down. Some games have a whole lot of meaning. And some don't read too much into it. Like the Bucks ripping the Celtics, although you avoided, I think, a major injury that could have affected a lot. Good morning to you. Merry Wednesday, and welcome to it. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. How you living?
What it do?
You all right back there?
All right.
What's going on?
How much?
What'd you look at last night? Lakers, Warriors, Bucks, Celtics? What'd you look at? Hockey, baseball, Rockies, what?
I watched a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I watched some of the Cubs, Padres, watched the Avalanche, Wild, looked at the Warriors running away from the Lakers in the second half.
First half, too. Boy, did they shoot. Did you see Draymond in the first half? Draymond Green dropping. They're like, who was Draymond Green? It was Draymond 3. They were raining threes. The Warriors dropped 26 three-pointers on the Lakers last night in Los Angeles. Beat the Lakers 134-120. So what does that mean? So the Lakers, JJ, had an opportunity. If they would have won, they would have jumped into the 8th spot. They would have jumped over Sacramento, which means they'd have been in that 7-8 game and only had to win one game to get into the full tournament and get out of the play-in. Instead, they now drop just a half game in front of Golden State, and it's Warriors-Lakers right now as we stand in that 8-9, or I'm sorry, the 9-10 game. And where's the game going to be? Now, no Anthony Davis last night, which I think is quite significant. But if you look at the standings right now, Phoenix got, what was the final on that Phoenix score, dude? At one point it was like 36-4. Did you see that? It was stupid. Phoenix lost to the Clippers 105-92. I mean, it became a regular basketball game. But at one point, it was bonkers. At the end of the first quarter, it was 37-10. 37-10. They showed a score as like 32-4, something stupid like that. So Phoenix fell, but they stay. Actually, they fell behind New Orleans last night. So Phoenix drops into the play-in tournament. Right now, it's Phoenix versus Sacramento and Lakers versus Warriors. And there's still a lot to be decided. That was a big game. Lakers could have moved up into that 8 seed and get away from Golden State in the 9-10 game. And right now, I think they're jockeying to see where that game's going to be. It was a big game last night.
That is a crazy play-in tournament right now. It's LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
In the Western Conference. And oh, by the way, Sacramento Kings there.
And only 2 of them are going to get out.
And 2 of them are going to get in. And so 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 yet to be decided. And everyone else is pretty much locked in
to the main draw.
They're going to be in the main draw. And last night is what happens. And you can say, Lakers didn't have Anthony Davis, but that's huge at this point in time. It's impactful. Got smacked in the head the other day. He's dealing with some headaches and nausea, which is a bummer for them with 2 games left and trying to fight. And just the way the Western Conference is playing out, we knew how crazy it was going to be. Then you look tonight, and Minnesota and Denver, they'd rather be turning their attention to the postseason, but they're playing for the number 1 seed.
I know.
So that game is going to be ridiculous. Jamal Murray came back over the weekend. Anthony Edwards just scored 51 points last night, a career high. This is unbelievable. As people start paying attention, everyone starts talking about the NBA. This is probably the best the Western Conference has ever been. And we've talked in years about how deep it is, but we're talking about superstars, Hall of Fame players still playing at a ridiculously high level that are at the back end right now.
In the play-in tournament, yeah. All right, here's the Warriors have 3 left. Lakers have 2. Okay, Warriors are a half game behind the Lakers. They get the Blazers tomorrow, the bottom of the standings, and then they get the Pelicans, who are still playing to stay out of the play-in tournament, and then the Jazz, who are out of it. So they've got two teams who are out and one team that's going to be desperate. Lakers have two left, the Grizzlies and the Pelicans, both on the road. It'll be interesting. And, how does that thing play out? Because, to your point, it is amazing. And then there's Phoenix. What the hell happened to Phoenix last night? Phoenix has three left, all on the road, Clippers, Kings, Wolves. That's brutal. The hell of a stretch. And they've been playing really well. They had won 3 in a row, 4 out of 5 going into that. That's a brutal stretch. So you're going to watch the NBA, and there's a lot going on. And then there was this last night. If you were watching, the Bucks beat the Celtics, and they ended up beating the Celtics 104-91, which the score is totally irrelevant to the story. Giannis Antetokounmpo limped off the court, went to the locker room, and it was one of those. Did you see when he went down? It was like, were you by any chance watching when he did? I just happened to have it on. It was one of those.
Yeah, he's jogging down the floor.
Yeah. They thought it was his left Achilles. They did an MRI. His left Achilles is fully intact, and it is a calf strain. JJ, this feels. Remember when Kevin Durant blew out his Achilles, and it was a calf strain a couple years ago when he was with the Warriors, the end of his career with the Warriors, right? He had the calf strain. They said it was not an Achilles, but it was absolutely related to his Achilles, right? And he blew that thing out. He left in the third quarter. I literally just crumpled, dude. It was one of those where it's like, oh, man. I mean, when you have the conversation right now, who's the best player in basketball? He's in that conversation, correct?
Of course, he's the NBA champion, MVP, can take over games. This changes the playoffs. Like, it's just a calf strain, but that's not healing in a week. And for the Milwaukee Bucks, that's a franchise right now. I have to take a step back and go, how did it get this messy? They did a fantastic job. They drafted this kid in the teens, this skinny kid from Greece. You're like, who's this dude going to be? He turns into Giannis Antetokounmpo. They build a championship team around him. They have good rotation players. They swing for the fences with Dame Lillard. And this season, when Dame and Giannis are on the floor, they've won 67% of their games. But they've also gone through 3 head coaches in 9 months. And now this injury with Giannis, you cannot trust the Milwaukee Bucks in the playoffs.
Do you know where he was picked in the draft?
It's like 14 or 15.
15, yeah. 15. Jokic was picked in the second round.
Because when you look at Giannis, his rookie year photo, you wonder, has this dude ever seen a carbohydrate? Like, he's just a skinny, lengthy kid.
Now he's 6'11", 243.
Now he's a monster.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why the draft is such a crapshoot. And I don't know if you've looked at any NBA mock drafts, and like, I got to call Fran Fraschilla because I have no idea who any of these guys are. It's a bunch of itches, like, ICHs at the end, or ICs, right? Dudes, like a lot of European guys, Jokic's, dudes, I'm sure they can ball, but I just have no idea. And that's where this international scouting has just become the necessity of the National Basketball Association, because you look at the guys, if you look at the international players right now, and you say Jokic, Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, right? Just start right there. And I don't know. There's a really fair argument. Those are and Joel Embiid.
Yeah, that'd actually be a fun exercise.
Well, I mean,
pick 5 international players, 5 Americans, and go.
The internationals win. Right now, Embiid, well, especially the bigs. I mean, Embiid and Jokic and Antetokounmpo and Luka. And then who you want to throw in? I mean, Porzingis is pretty amazing. You don't have anybody to handle the ball, but they can all handle the ball, right? But give me a list of the best players in the NBA, and Porzingis probably isn't on that top 10, but the other 4 guys are. And then you would throw Wemby on there at some point.
Yep.
Right?
Sorry, Jokic and Embiid bring Victor Wembanyama. No, heck, he can be a small forward.
Wemby at 7'4"? Yeah.
Giannis,
I mean, it's pretty amazing,
guard,
though, isn't it?
Your point guard.
Give me. I mean, I don't know. When we're having the conversation about the best players, it's international driven, isn't it? You
Yes, it is.
still throw Durant in there, and you can tell me Booker and Tatum and Curry, yeah. But holy smokes, man, the international guys. It's and that's where it's so important. And so when you look at the mock drafts, and you're just going, I don't know who that guy is. I don't know who that guy is. And some of them hit, and some of them don't. I'd love to know what the percentages that hit. But it's something. All right. Also, last night, Philadelphia was a winner last night. And they win in Detroit, but really the story, did Joel Embiid play? And he did, and he scored 37 points last night. And I look at that simply because they're playing for positioning in the East, is Philadelphia. But I look, and I know you do, how's Joel Embiid playing going into the playoffs? Because
If we can trust Joel Embiid enough, that's
Sure.
a swing team. Because with Milwaukee, I don't trust them. I think that's the calf is going to linger. The first round of the playoffs start April 20th. And, 10 days. But you brought up the whole Kevin Durant situation. You have nightmare flashbacks.
scares me, man.
When a dude is dealing with a calf injury late in the season. And you look down and you go, oof. Philadelphia 76ers, Giannis ramping back up. Their game back at the Pacers for 6th in the Eastern Conference. So even if they don't get it, I think Philadelphia would be in a situation where they could win one of those 2 games if they end up in the 8-7 matchup with Miami opposite, Chicago and Atlanta. And then the Sixers are dangerous because Tyrese Maxey is a legit number 2 player. The way he's emerged this season, their depth is fine, and it goes back to Joel Embiid is playing as that dude. They're the second best team in the Eastern Conference.
Yep. All right, a couple other things. LeBron scored 33, by the way, in the loss last night. 134-120. Warriors beat the Lakers. You said Anthony Edwards, 51. That's a career high for him last night. The Wolves rallied. They were down 21 to the Wizards early, but they rallied back as they continue to compete for that number 1 spot. And what was the other one that I had on here? Oh, yeah. Domantas Sabonis, his double-double streak. He had a 61-game double-double streak. 61 games. He had 8 points and 13 rebounds last night. He missed out, but he scored 8 points. I just want 61 games, dude, in the NBA of double-double. That's work.
That is work. He's just trying to be like his dad.
Yeah, he might even be better than his dad, man. Yeah. And his dad was good.
His dad was a legend. His dad, Arvydas, was. Anytime you hear people talk about the league, say, "What if this dude got to the NBA just a couple years earlier?" And you could actually see what he was. But Sabonis in Sacramento is a case of that could be one of the best trades ever because both teams don't regret it. The Pacers got Tyrese Halliburton out of it, all-star guard, and they're sitting in 6th place in the Eastern Conference. The Kings got Sabonis to pair with De'Aaron Fox. You're like, this
Everybody
really
won. How about that? All right, we're going to win today, and hopefully you will as well. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. That's 505-246-0610. That's the Sports Animals phone line and our text line. Our email is jeff@sportsanimalabq.com, jj@sportsanimalabq.com. You can find us on the Twitter or the X. It's _JJ Buck. And watch the show on our Facebook page, the OD in the AM. Adrian's producing on Pro V Networks. Comcast Channel 26. We got Comcast, or Xfinity, I guess is what it is now. Everything's going to the X, right? Comcast is Xfinity. Twitter is X. Should we just be the XM in the AM, or the OD in the XM? Or should we just leave it?
Take some work.
Yeah, I'll work on that. When we come back, boy, there's a lot to talk about in college basketball, including, are the Lobos already ranked for next year? What does it mean if they are? The answer might be nothing, but it's kind of fun. It's the opening drive on 95.9 XM. Oh, I mean AM. And with 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Out.
When you have sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm gonna pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
I'm going out, Grandma.
When are you coming home?
I'll be home late. Don't wait up, okay?
Be careful, mijito.
Love you, Grandma.
Mijito. He's a good man. Sometimes he just makes bad decisions. I tell him, mijito, cuidado. Be careful. You might hurt someone. He doesn't listen.
Stop, okay?
Hello.
It's me.
Hi, mijo. Where are you?
Dale was drinking and driving. I need you to come and get me, okay? Please, Grandma? Can you just come and get me? Grandma.
Leave him in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep.
The Sports Animal.
Well, what do rankings mean to you? Some of you still love and live by the rankings, and some of you don't, and some stare at the net numbers, which I think we've realized don't mean that much either, because the Lobos were ranked 22nd or ranked? What are you net ranked? Are you ranked? It's a computer rank.
You're rated.
You rated? Okay.
Ranked by a computer.
Yeah, all right. They were 22nd in net, and we were told that they would have been left out if they didn't get the automatic bid. So what do they mean to you? It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. I think over the years we've learned they're fun. They're nice to have a number next to your name. They get you on. They certainly get you visibility. Do we agree with that? Because your scores are listed on all the bottom lines. They list all the ranked teams, morning radio shows or whatever. Give the scores of ranked games from the night before. So I do think there's a value in being ranked during the season in the top 25, because your scores, more people are just looking at it, and more people back east may say, oh, look, the 24th ranked New Mexico or 19th ranked New Mexico beat Colorado State, whatever. Games are there. You'll give me that one, right?
Yeah, rankings are the ultimate PR.
I think that's right. Okay. They don't, when it comes down to seeding, slotting, determining tournament stuff, and sure as hell, it doesn't matter in the standings, right? We were watching a 7th place Colorado State team be ranked all year, and they were 7th place in the Mountain West, right? So,
yes.
All right. So they sure as hell don't mean anything in April for next year.
Especially these days.
But they're kind of fun, right? And so for that purpose, we'll look at them. Because there's like and they call them the way too early rankings. And JJ, they are so way too early because we know that things can change on a dime. So I guess the preface here is, as of now, 7:21 on April 10th, 7:21 in the morning, because it could change by 7:21 p.m. for all we know. Donovan Dent and J.P. Toppin, I think Nelly Jr. Joseph, True Washington, Mustafa Amsil, Braden Applehans, Quentin Webb, Cade Dotson, Jovan Milicevic, or Milicevic. They're all Lobos next year, right? As of now, right? And that's what this is all based on?
Yeah, the last two names you read, incoming freshmen
yep.
for New Mexico.
Yep.
2 players off the bench. People are really excited about Applehans, Webb wondering if they're going to get time. And then, heck, you just listed off
your starting 5?
What could actually be the starting 5 for the Lobos. And there's not many teams in the country that can say that this morning.
Donovan Dent at the 1, True Washington at the 2, Mustafa Amsil at the 3. Nelly Jr. Joseph probably playing the 4 and JT Toppin at the 5, or switch them around.
Now, you're definitely going to see the Lobos, I think, look for another wing player.
No doubt.
And post player to come into that rotation, because I don't think you can play an entire season with Mustafa as your starting small forward.
I agree with that. They need another big. No, they'll need another big, and they'll find it. All right, so all that said, guys with pens and probably not pens, with laptops and websites and podcasts are putting out these way too early top 25s for next year. The Field of 68, it's a podcast network, right? Lobos are 20th in the network's top 25 ranking. They're ahead of Boise State, who's 21st. No other Mountain West teams in the field. Sports Illustrated's Kevin Sweeney has the Lobos 21st, the highest ranked Mountain West team. And the Athletics' only Mountain West team ranked was San Diego State at 23. ESPN's way too early top 25. No Mountain West teams, but listed San Diego State and New Mexico in a next in line section. CBS Sports Rankings had no Mountain West teams. I don't know. It's fodder. It means nothing. The point is, if you get through this window, and there'll be another one later, but if you do get through April 1st and nobody enters the portal, you still have 20 more days. You feel pretty good about what you've got going into next season.
It's rare. And the Lobos are in a fantastic position right now with the players that they have on campus right now, locked in. They're excited about the incoming freshmen, especially when you look at what they've done
with freshmen.
With freshmen over the last few years, they've identified and hit on players, and in the transfer portal, they're landing a couple names. to add to this roster, and they are in a fantastic position right now. And this is a time of year that I can point at some rosters that have one starter. I have no idea who. Maybe the 5 players are going to be that are starting for them next season.
Yeah. You look where you were last year, right? I mean, you when you knew Morris Udeze was leaving, and you knew at this point, I think Josiah Alec was in the portal. You knew you had the guards coming back. You thought you were hoping to hold on to Donovan Dent. You had no idea what JT Toppin and Drew Washington were doing. None. They were names that I like. Oh, okay, we got some incoming freshmen, but you didn't plan on it. And then they went out and got Nelly, and they found Mustafa Amsil, who, by the way, I don't know how many people were all fired up about Mustafa Amsil. I almost think, you tell me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to remember the progression. I think Amsil was first signed. But was there more excitement about Isaac Mushila, who came in as that great scorer from Corpus Christi, or Mustafa Amsil?
I think it was Mustafa.
Right?
Because he was a 3-point shooter.
Okay.
Stretched the floor. Did it at Dayton. And Mushila, once you kind of got past the box score, you realized that he was kind of a bulldog. He's not a go-to scorer. It's different when you're playing the 4-4 Texas A&M Corpus Christi. We did it in the NCAA tournament. But I think it was Mushila because you're like, oh, you got the floor stretcher, you got the shooter. And then this team's been hungry for that the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I'm going to push a little on that because I think dudes that can play. Like I think you could almost make that same argument for Great Osibor and Darius Brown. Well, it's one thing when you're playing at Montana State and playing in the Big Sky against, Montana and Eastern Washington. It's kind
of... It was more the type of player, dude.
Yeah,
Mushila never got on the floor, and I don't know why.
Right. No, obviously, dudes can come from that level and come up and play. Mm-hmm. They can. I mean, Colorado State found dudes at the Division II level, right? Isn't that where Cartier came from, right? And then you look at the player of the year was playing in the Big Sky a year. So I appreciate that Richard's looking, and this coaching staff is looking for those kind of guys. This one didn't pop, but it can. And maybe, for whatever reason, I think you and I both thought that Mushila was going to get more minutes and probably be more impactful. I think he just got lost in the guard rotation. I think that's what happened. I think dude probably can play a little bit. I just think where you playing him, you got House and Mashburn, and then you had Drew Washington and Donovan Dent. Where you playing him? And then you had Jamal Baker. Yeah,
that's a 4.
Yeah, but he's not a big 4.
Yeah, but then he can't live in the backcourt.
Yeah, I think that's why he got lost. I think that's why it just the construction of that roster, it didn't work. All right, whatever that's worth to you, it's out there, and it's interesting and
it's great because it's what just happened out of nowhere. We're like, yeah, way too early, top 25, and all of a sudden you get into it.
Yeah,
you're breaking down rosters, and again, it's just a weird place to be for New Mexico that they've actually pretty locked in. And I don't anticipate, as we know, Jeff, never be shocked by anything in college athletics. But I'm looking at a team that I believe all the names that we read off are going to be Lobos next season with some work in the transfer portal. Got to be feeling pretty good.
Speaking of the portal, when we come back, he's a star. Larry Nerd, Steph Blurry, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, portal, and who's going to Kentucky as the head coach. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM at 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
You know, sometimes when fans worry about something, it's just worrying to worry. And then sometimes fans worry about something and it's absolutely legit and it comes to fruition. Good morning to you. Happy Wednesday opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. We're open for business today at 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ, whenever you're a coach, I don't care who you are. You could be North Carolina, you could be St. John's, you could be New Mexico, you could be Indiana State. Whenever you're coach at Montana State, right? Your coach is up for another job. You start worrying about your roster, especially in today's era where not only is the portal relevant, it's prevalent and it's active and there's unlimited transfers. And so I think Indiana State fan who just had an unbelievable run this year, right? They win the Missouri Valley Conference. They go to the finals of the NIT. They got left out of the NCAA tournament, but they lost their coach, and Josh Schertz went to St. Louis. And JJ, the entire starting five is in the portal. Not only is Robbie Avila, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Larry Nerd, that dude, but Ryan Conwell, Isaiah Swope, Jason Kent, Julian Larry, all of them are in the portal, and a lot of them will end up at St. Louis. I mean, it's real. When you love a coach has success, a coach recruits you and goes somewhere else, there's a good chance they're going to go somewhere else. I mean, Jamal Mashburn followed Richard Pitino to New Mexico from Minnesota, right?
Yes, and that is the biggest thing when you have a coaching change. It's not just the coach, you're changing your entire roster. And I don't know if I think more and more people are understanding that, but when people are screaming, "Hey, we need to change a head coach," it's probably because the team's not good, so they are like whatever with these players. But that's what happens.
Look
And
at
then
Kentucky.
You lose all your recruits.
Yeah.
Even the players you might be excited about in your roster, they're jumping in the portal because it's uncertainty for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, Kentucky's in that boat right now, right? So it's kind of obvious when it goes down now. So I'm not sure I knew this. Did you know that when you go into the portal, you can put a red exclamation mark next to your name? Like it's a no contact tag.
It is something I have learned.
Yeah. Did you know that before today?
Yes, I did.
I did not know that. So Avila, who was the 6'10" sophomore center, the guy with the goggles, the Steph Blurry, Larry Nerd, Cream, CREAM, Abdul-Jabbar, Milk Chamberlain. There's a lot of Caucasian reference names in there. He put a no contact on there. The assumption is he's going to St. Louis, and Josh Schertz, the new coach at St. Louis, who went over from Indiana State, was at the Cardinals game yesterday. Bally Sports caught up with him and said, "Hey, are you planning on bringing Robbie Avila with you?" And he said, on Bally last night, "We certainly hope so. We got a really enticing recruiting pitch. You look at our system, our style of play, and everything we have to offer, the city, the facilities. So yeah, hopefully we'll be in the mix for some great players. We've coached great players at Indiana State, but the goal is to put together a championship level team here by the start of the season. Certainly by June, we want to have our roster set and the talent and character to compete for a championship." End quote. Answer, yeah. Right. And that's just the system. That's how it is now. There's nothing. It used to be you have to hide from it. Now it's, yeah, you're damn right.
And these are the ones where I don't think you shouldn't have a problem with it. When your coach leave, that changes absolutely everything for a player. And that was probably one of the biggest things that helped him get the St. Louis job too, was like, well, probably could bring my best player with me as well when you give me a raise.
A few of them. Look what Danny Sprinkle did when he left Montana State.
Yes.
Danny Sprinkle brought
Mountain West Player of the Year
and 2 first-teamers in Darius Brown. And I'm sure people probably said, "Yeah, whatever, dude. You can have your little Big Sky players." I don't know. Those 2 Big Sky players basically led a charge that won the Mountain West this year. They did. They cut down nets. They won the regular season championship. And my point is, if you can play and if you can, coach is going to find players to play.
They won an NCAA tournament game.
They did, and then they ran up against Purdue. Yeah,
scored 106 points.
Yeah, but they won a game. They beat TCU.
I think we saw Purdue and UConn.
They beat a good Big 12 team in TCU. Yeah, no, they won with great Osipor, Darius Brown, and these Big Sky players. Kentucky guys are going to leave too. John Calipari came out yesterday. He finally spoke and he released something on X. It was a video. And basically said, let me read you the exact quote. He said, quote, "It's been a beautiful time for us. This is my dream job. This is a dream job. It was my dream job. Anybody in our profession looks at the University of Kentucky in basketball and said, that's blue as the blue. Last few weeks, we've come to realize that this program probably needs to hear another voice. And the fans need to hear another voice. We've loved it here, but we think it's time for us to step away completely from the program," end quote. Probably needs another voice. That's a guy who's got another job. It's set up. He's not just going into the great unknown. He's set up and he's fine. Look, they ran him out. They wanted him out. He got a job. I have no problem with the way he handled this. Do you?
I do not.
Okay.
I don't think there was anything nefarious.
Well, I think there's
on.
people who are yelling.
Like, it's Kentucky lost to a double-digit seed. The fan base was on fire. They wanted to fire him. They're talking about a buyout anyway. And John Calipari was like, "All right, you guys, I understand it. Last 5 years hasn't been great to their expectations. And it's also a cush position. Like, if Arkansas wasn't open, I don't think John Calipari is going to win anywhere.
Well, I don't think he's going unless he's got something to go to.
Because if Arkansas wasn't open,
yeah,
because it's that trickle down effect. It's because USC opened because SMU fired their coach, just because they wanted to hire a bigger name as they go to the ACC.
Yep. So they get Andy Enfield.
And Andy Enfield, like, okay, what
Leaves
have you done
SC.
for me lately?
Yeah.
Nothing. And so it's that trickle down effect.
And Arkansas's
So
Eric
it's all
Musselman
because
goes
of
to SC.
SMU that Kentucky gets out of the buyout from John Calipari.
Yep. Yep.
Because if you're Calipari, you're not leaving.
No, there's $33 million on the table.
Yeah, $33 million. And the fact that the amount of boosters, we've heard about Tyson Chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry
But
Jones
is Jerry
is in that.
Jones in there? Yeah.
Walton family, Walmart.
The owners of the Broncos amongst and Walmart and all
that's
those things. Yeah.
And that's college athletics. It's always been about donors, but now you don't have to hide it. Now you can cultivate it directly to the players
or to the coaches.
Like Arkansas might have the most money available from their boosters
between Tyson, the Walton, and Jerry Jones. Yeah, there's that's three pretty good ones right there. Yeah.
Like there might not be a lot of kids right now growing up thinking, yeah, I want to go play basketball at Arkansas, but they will real quick when they see the NIL deals.
First of all, Calipari is going to continue to recruit. Calipari's got a track record of getting dudes paid in the NBA. Now he's going to get them paid in college, and then you got an opportunity to go get them paid in the NBA. He's going to continue to recruit. He's won national championships. John Calipari didn't forget how to coach. They lost a couple of games, and he may have been a little too stubborn. While he was in the forefront of the last era, the one and done era, right? He was the last time this thing changed, right? When it went to the one and done, he was at the forefront and took advantage of that.
What do you think is it the 5th and 6th year players? Like, what do you think has changed so much?
Well, I think if you look at teams that are getting older and the experience, and Richard Pitino said it, other coaches have said it.
There's been older teams in the past when Kentucky was winning.
And yeah, but when you look at the team like Oakland that beat them, right? It's older dudes. What was it St. Peter's that beat them the other time? They got that guy got the job at Seton Hall out of that, right? I wonder, and this isn't fair because I don't know the personalities on the team, but I've been reading a bunch about this, and it's like, these younger guys, do they appreciate it, accept it, or they're there for 1 year to get the hell out? So do they care as much, right?
Because when you look at college athletics, and I know the teams are kind of extra old, dealing with the extra year of eligibility, everything from the 2020 season that was canceled due to COVID. I'm trying to say, like, what changed that much? And the reality was the other Kentucky teams had elite talent. Like, these are still top 100 kids, but you can point back to Anthony Davis, Carl Anthony Towns, De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
Like, legit NBA franchise players. Like, these guys are going to get drafted, but we haven't quite seen.
Did they win on sheer talent?
Yeah, we haven't quite seen that. Jamal Murray.
Let me ask you this. So, we'll carry this into the next segment, because I said something, I know, during the late part of the season, that as much as fans, and I was specifically talking Lobo fan, as much as Lobo fan wants to win, wants to get to the NCAA tournament, wants to get to the Sweet 16, wants to advance, I said at the time, and I firmly believed it with this team, the guys that are out there want to do it more, right? And Jalen House in his 5th year had never been to the NCAA tournament. He wanted to get there. Jamal Mashburn wanted to get there, like those guys. But let me ask you, guys that come in for a year and leave for a year, do you think with the portal and the one and dones, and it's more business transaction? Like Kenny Thomas talked about how in his 4 years, how he appreciated the University of New Mexico and what it meant in the Lobo basketball program more and more as time went on. Do you think we're there or going to get there where that's actually true? The fan base just does care way more than the dudes on the floor? And not just here. I mean, it can be Kentucky. I mean, and I would almost go to Kentucky first. Dudes that are going to be there for 1 year, that their plan is to go in 1 year, be one and done, and go to the NBA. It's pretty fair to think that fan base cares way more about how they do in the NCAA tournament than a dude who's going to be there 1 year, even though that guy's playing. You think I'm way off?
It's a good tease.
We'll talk about that when we come back. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Zone.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
If If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
The Brazil game, I think we knew the Eagles were going to play in Brazil. First ever game down there on the Friday of opening weekend. This will be September 5th. They will play the Green Bay Packers. Eagles have been announced as the home team. It will be the Packers and the Eagles opening up the season on a Friday night in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck, 505-246-0610. All right, so having a conversation. And JJ, I'm thinking Kentucky. And I'm thinking how the fan base is, but it can happen anywhere. Fan base has been there. They remember who they were from Adolph Rupp to Rick Pitino to wherever, to when Calipari was with them. And then you get players who are coming in and they're one and done in their transfer portal, or they're here for 1 year. They transfer in, they transfer out. Do they care as much? And I don't want to just generalize on saying players don't care, because I think that's not fair. But is it fair to start to assume that the fan base cares about winning more than the people who are actually involved in playing the game?
No.
Okay.
They have to handle it differently.
Who does?
Both sets.
Okay.
Fans can be more emotionally invested than a player or coach can. You have to turn the page. You can't live like fans live and be a successful coach or player. Because I've been in that. You've been there.
Yeah.
I ride buses post-game.
Yeah.
And it's a complete 180 from a win or a loss. If there's a loss and there's a sense, it was a poor performance maybe, and you felt like, oof, like this is one that got away.
Yeah.
You hear a word on that bus.
Not a word.
Not a word.
Yeah.
Like, because they know. Like, there's a difference. So, do they care? Absolutely. Because after that UNLV game, the women went in there, snapped a 29-game winning streak.
The UNLV had. That
UNLV had in Mountain West play, top 25 team. Like, that was the most excited bus I've ever been on. So there's levels to it. I think where you're going with it is, I think fans honestly do care just as much as anyone else, but you can't live that way as a coach or player.
So, and I'm not going to suggest players don't care. And I know coaches do, because they get compensated on their success. So I know coaches absolutely care. It's their livelihood. It's their careers. It's how they raise their families. So I know they do. I just wonder in social media and watching, like again, and I don't want to call any one particular person out. But when social media starts beating up players and they're like, whatever, man, I'm out of here after this year. Why do I care? Bleep this place, right? I'm from East Coast and I'm on the West Coast, or I'm from the South and I'm up here in the North, and wherever. I'm not from here, man, and I know I'm out of here at the end of the year. I'm jumping in the portal. Let's bleep this place. I don't need to hear this. I just wonder as we evolve, because you're saying fans need to handle it differently. And
no, I don't think they need to handle it differently. I'm saying the way the fans live, you can't live like that as an athlete and be successful. Of taking everything like,
okay.
Like, oh, we had that loss.
Yeah.
Bleep it. The next 24 hours of my life is going to suck.
Because fans live on that, like the hardcores, and
so you can care,
yeah,
but not have that reaction.
And
because,
again,
listen, if you a good point to look back on is the way Richard Pitino talked about that Air Force game and how much that lingered, and he was still referencing that game at the end of the season.
He did. The last time he was with us, which was last week, he was still talking about the Air Force game. So, what's your point on that?
Well, I'm saying, like, it matters.
Yeah.
Like,
and again, that's his livelihood, right?
Yeah,
so,
but I think the same thing for players.
Mm.
To your point, young players coming up in this age where this is what they can do. They can bounce around. This is not new for them. I think that everyone has to grow and learn about, your work ethic, all those things that play into it, but it absolutely, matters for these players and coaches.
And again, I want to preface, I'm not saying they don't care, but can the fan base care more? And I don't believe that was the case with this particular Lobo team. So I'm not calling out this Lobo team on that by any means, because this was a veteran-led team with guys kind of on their last chance or last two chances to get to the NCAA tournament. There's no doubt in my mind, and I had conversations off camera, off the air with Jalen House and Jamal Mashburn. I know those guys cared a lot. I know they want to win. I know Mustafa Amzil came in here and Nelly Jr. Joseph want to do it. And there's no doubt to me the young guys on this team wanted to win. So I don't believe that happened with this particular team. But I look at a place like Kentucky, right? And how rabid that fan base is and what they think they are. And they certainly were what they think they are, right? They were that, and they might not be that right now. And dudes are coming in and just going, dude, I'm here 1 year and I'm going to get paid. Or I'm transferring in or I'm transferring out. Are we in a system now that's set up? And it feels dangerous to me, where the fan base cares more about it than about the results of the players.
I think there's absolutely some cases the answer to that is yes. But I also think part of it, too, is even as a top 100 recruit, a young player, learning what it takes to be successful. And part of that is, how you handle, how much whatever you're doing needs to.
Yeah. All right, I got a bunch of emails from you. I'll get you some of that. 505-246-0610. I mean, can you see the scenario? You see where I'm going with this? And again, I don't think that was the case this year with New Mexico. But you get to Kentucky, a place, they're all one and dones. Why do they care, man? They're in there to burn their year and go get paid more. Why do they care? And yet there you are every year wearing your university on your hat, your shirt, your logo, your jammies, your underwear. You care. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Travis Kelce's girlfriend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, brah. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Lose, no big deal. You got another one. They still have fun. This is the care meter. 1 coaches, 2 administrators, 3 fans, 4 players. And it's going to get worse as NIL grows. They still get paid like the 12th guy on an NBA bench. Administrators probably care more than fans because it's their business, right? Their livelihood, especially at the AD level. So their livelihood's tied to wins and losses. Coaches probably care the most. I mean, are the fans really, are the players really, I mean, on the care meter, 4th on the list of 4? Does it go coaches, administrators, fans, players? In some places, I'll bet it does.
Yeah.
If you're in there for 1 year.
And I think that's, to me, I'm looking at this more as how do you handle it emotionally?
Yeah.
Because I haven't been around a lot of student athletes that don't care, and usually there's something else that's going on that affects that, as opposed to them not wanting to win or not wanting to be good. But I think it's the emotional reaction to it. But if you're ranking it, I can see how 1 would get there.
Yeah. And again, I'm not saying they don't care. I'm just saying, do they care as much? And let me play this game a little.
But what does that mean?
Well, okay, so I'll tell you. So think of pick a college town. Okay, I don't care if it's Albuquerque, New Mexico, Lexington, Kentucky, Pullman, Washington, Ames, Iowa, Waco, Texas, whatever. And you're from pick a place, Atlanta, Los Angeles, whatever. And so you go to Ames, Iowa, and yeah, this is cool, man. People care. And by the middle of the year, you're like, damn, I'm out of here. Like I'm done with this. Do you care about winning at Iowa State or at Washington State or New Mexico? You know you're out of here. These fans are going crazy. They're always going to be Iowa State fans or Washington State fans or New Mexico fans. But I'm out, dude. I'm gone. Yeah, I want to do the best for me. I want to get mine. But do I care how Iowa State does this year? Especially if I'm not a huge part. But even if I am, I'm gone, dude. Coach is gone. I'm gone. What do I care?
I think that if coach is gone.
Yeah. It's a whole big factor. Yeah. I'm not saying they don't care. I'm not telling you that.
Yeah, but it comes across as they don't when we have this conversation. And the texture obviously feels that college kids don't care.
As much as the fans.
But you know what? I think you can't. Because if you're that emotional, you're not going to be successful.
What do you mean?
Well, the only reason we're saying care more is it because of the reaction? Is it because you're going to go on social media and threaten people and tell them they suck?
Kind of. Yeah.
You can't live like that as a coach or athlete. You can't.
I think I agree with that.
That's why I'm all right. If they're last, so be it. I'd rather have someone that understands that the day-to-day work that it takes to be successful at any level, as opposed to not able to practice after losing to Air Force.
Yeah. And I don't think they lost Air Force because they didn't care. I just think they overlooked Air Force. That's all.
No, but that's a great kind of barometer of emotional investment in this conversation.
Text line says, I'm sorry, but you cannot tell me any Purdue fan cared more about that game than Zach Edey. No one could have felt more defeated or upset than him. No, I'm not telling you that. And again, I'm not giving you a universal blanket statement. I'm not. And Zach Edey's kind of the anomaly. Didn't he do 4 years at Purdue? Yeah, no, that's the total. I'm not telling you that at all. And if that's what you're hearing, I apologize that I'm not getting my point across well. No, I'm not telling you that. Look, this is prefaced by me saying about a month ago when Lobo fan was really beaten up on, and it's not fair. Some Lobo fans were really beaten up on the team. And I said, as much as you want to win and go to the tournament, the players want it more. And I believe that. And I believe that with this particular Lobo team. So to the texter, I apologize if that's how that came across. But that's not what I'm saying. Because I agree. Zach Edey wanted it as bad as anybody. The way the system's set up for the players who are just in for 1 year and they're gone. And they're coming in, they're getting their NIL, and then they're chasing the next one. And now with the unlimited transfer portal, are we set up in places? And is Kentucky one of those places where dudes go in for a year, and you're a Kentucky fan forever? You grew up that way. Do you care more than them? Frank, what do you think? Good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Frank.
Well, good morning. It's a little convoluted.
Yeah, I get it.
This is why. The player cares more about winning or especially not losing than any fan will ever care. However, they may not care about the institution as much as the fans do because we live in the place. We live UNM. We live New Mexico State. We are born that way. And so the players come from a variety of areas around the world. They come here, they want to win, and they want to win more than any fan wants them to. And so it's convoluted.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. No, I appreciate it, Frank. Thanks.
Thank you.
I got this too. University administration. Administration knows that with athletic success comes improved enrollment and improved donor giving and much more. Yeah, no, I agree with that. And it's not a blanket statement. Saying it as we evolve this, is that an unintended consequence? How much, if you're one, take it.
I think that it's something that it's not new though.
Okay.
Because to the previous caller's point, you're comparing, an 18 and 22-year-old going somewhere for the first time in their life versus someone that's been supporting a program for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so the passion level could be different. But you say all the time, even if it's a year or 2 years, if you go somewhere and you would like to be a San Diego State Aztec, to be a New Mexico Lobo, like you're buying into that.
Mm-hmm.
But the people in the stands, much deeper connection than you do to the overall institution.
You know, I look at when you watch, take the TNT pregame show, right? And how Charles Barkley talks about Auburn, right? How his love, and how Kenny Smith talks about his love for his alma mater, right? And Shaq talks about his love. You know, there's LSU and there's Carolina and there's Auburn, and they went there, and that's where they went, right? And they love that. We're hitting a generation now where you're losing that. You just are.
I guess it's back to kind of the point. Where did you have the most success in your collegiate career? Because if you're a player that you look down and he's been at 3 different places,
right?
Who am I repping?
And again, nothing against the players now. You're just losing that. And so those guys are always going to love. And that's here again. Who wants to win more when Auburn's in the NCAA tournament? A guy like Charles Barkley, or a third-year transfer who's going to be out, who just came in and is going to be out next year. That's all I'm saying. I'm not blaming anyone, and I'm not mad at anyone. I just when I read some of the stuff that's coming out, and my whole thought process was just prompted by the Kentucky thing, because when I said last month, I firmly believe every player on that Lobo roster wants to win more than any of you fans. They want, and I do believe that with the construction of that team. I'm not calling out by any means this last Lobo team. But when I listen to some of the Kentucky stuff, and then I looked at that roster, and I'm like, dude, these guys are here 1 year, right? I mean, Kyle or CJ or Bubba in Kentucky.
Well, I think just because they got beat doesn't mean they didn't care.
100% right. 100% right. I'm not telling you they lost because they didn't care. I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree. But is it? I don't know. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine the fans care more. I mean, now that I think about it, what's the harm? I kind of sat here and thought, well, it's a little dangerous, but I don't know. Does it matter who cares more? Maybe it doesn't.
I think to me, it's about the emotional response, because you have to care about what you're doing to do it every single day. To get up, to go to practice, to stay eligible, whatever that means these days in college athletics.
Yeah, I agree with all that.
But you also can't live like fans live in the emotional, highs and lows.
And maybe it's better that they don't. To your point, maybe because again, when I say fans care more, that doesn't mean the players don't care. And maybe it's better that they can get over a loss easier than a fan can. Maybe it's better than that dude who's got the team name in their handle, and again, nothing wrong with that, and is tweeting, 18 times before tip-off, I can't wait. This is the biggest guy. I can't wait. That's cool. But maybe it's better that the fan cares more than the player, that the player's more, I don't know, level-headed, emotionally on a path to go and win. I mean, now that we've talked it through, this was good for me. Maybe it's okay that the fan cares more. 505-246-0610. Just wanted to throw it out there.
I will say it's something that even as a broadcaster, I've learned being around a team. Because calling a game, you get into it, man. You're invested. You're feeling it. You want that thrill of victory, and then you lose, and you almost think like, oh goodness, everyone's going to be on eggshells. Mm-hmm. Well, there is a time kind of post game where you're on the bus, it's quiet, but then you get back to the hotel and then you kind of start to see
everybody's chilling.
The change. Yeah. It's like, all right, now
music's on.
It's back. You get to it, and you almost learn about, this is how you have to kind of live it to survive this.
Yeah, because you can't let it completely consume you. No, fair enough. And fans do, and they don't have that. Yeah, that's fair. Thank you for indulging me in this. All right, 505-246-0610. When we come back, the Masters is tomorrow. I promise you nobody cares more about this guy, but he hurts every single day. Does he have a chance? Hey, it's springtime, and it is tax time. What's today? The 10th? That means, when's the 15th? Monday? You got to get them done. And then you get a refund. So what are you going to do with the refund? May I suggest you take part of that refund and call On the Spot Automotive Detailing? On the Spot will detail your vehicle wherever and whenever it is convenient for you. They're awarded best in the city because they know what it takes when it comes to professional restoration and cleaning of your vehicle. Not just cleaning, detailing, deep detailing. Like remember when you just got a new car? JJ, I remember how it feels to get a new car. It looks and feels and smells brand new, and you want that to last all the time. Well, you can get that with On the Spot Automotive Detailing. When they're done, it looks and feels and smells brand new. Top it off, they got window tinting to help you prep for those intense summer days. The heat is coming and it's going to be hot, and they will help you with that. On the Spot Automotive Detailing, you can book and buy right there online. It's OTSdetailing.com. OTSdetailing.com.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got...
as crystal ball time, Jeffy. The 15-time major circus at the Jim Nantz opens. What will we see from Tiger? A, misses the cut. B, plays into the weekend. 3, competitive. First page of the leaderboard. 4, they have to send the van to go get him because he's broken down on the back stretch. A, B, 3, and 4. Most likely scenario. He misses the cut, plays in the weekend. Competitive first page of the leaderboard, or they got to go send the van to go get him because he's broken.
My scenario is he makes the cut, doesn't finish the tournament.
Okay.
Gets the record.
I'm going to say he doesn't make the cut this time.
Then,
and you know, I always am on he makes the cut. Dude,
now I feel bad about my prediction.
No, why?
Because you're the Tiger whisperer.
Well, here's my deal, dude.
You've been on
I have
so many takes, the right takes with Tiger Woods.
And which has been the unpopular one. When everybody was saying he wouldn't win another one, I said he will, and he won the Masters. Now, I'm not saying that anymore. But he did win. I just don't know how you can just not play at all and just show up at the Masters and compete with the best players in the world and make the cut. I just don't know how you do that. Tiger said, I hurt every day. There's a record on the line. So the last time he played was at the Genesis. He's 48 years old. He's won 15 majors. He withdrew at Riviera during the second round because he was sick, not because he was injured. He hadn't played since. Quote, Tiger Woods, I hurt every day. I ache. No, I ache every day, and I prefer it warm and humid and hot. And I know we're going to get some thunderstorms. So at least it will be hot. It won't be like last year. Instead of, last year was when he went and it was cold. Now, he's played just one round. And he said last year he wasn't ready to play. My body wasn't ready. My game wasn't ready. And I thought that once a month would be a really nice rhythm. Hasn't worked out that way. But now we have major championships every month from here through July. So the once a month hopefully kicks in. JJ, I'd love to see him be competitive. Can he be? Yeah. I mean, he's freaking Tiger Woods. He can do anything. And like Nota Begay said, his game is fine. And I'm going to guess his game is fine. I don't know if it's fine enough to be out there with these guys who are, I mean, again, these guys are the best in the world in their prime. And I think Tiger, when he's good, can still play with them. The physical thing right now, a dude that flat out says, Nota says he's got no flexibility in the ankle. He can't walk.
Now, this is so much more than a stiff back or having a back surgery. Like the car accident was insane.
Yes.
That he was
in.
I'm sure if there was a 30 for 30, we'd be watching it the same way we were watching the Alex Smith thing. Like, wait, what happened?
Right.
Your leg looked like what? And then they rebuilt it. The thing where I will always lean on Tiger is this course doesn't change. Like the Masters, it's set. The green speeds might be a little bit different. They might put a tee box, a couple feet over here, move it a couple feet back. But it's not a course you look out and there's 700-yard par 5.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. Lenny, good morning. How you living? You're on the Sports Animal.
Morning. How you both doing?
Damn, where you been? Good to hear you.
I just be sorry about it. I was going to do Lobos with Simone. I'll keep it short just with Tiger. As much as I'm a fan of him, his career's over. I don't think he makes it. I think he makes it through round one, and he'll look at his score and go, I'm done. But no way he makes the cut.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I'd love to see it. And again, nothing will stun me, but I think I agree with you.
And it's not just talking about the back, but the foot surgery that he went through on his leg surgery, and the amount of pressure you have to put on that, as well as walking 7,300 yards over the course of 18 holes.
Undulating up and down. Yeah, and the torque. And supposedly it's that front ankle that has no flexibility. And how does it withstand? Look, if he's hurting now, I agree with you. I'd love to see him make the cut. I'm pulling for him. I want to see it. I mean, I do.
It's not just going for it. You have the networks knowing if he's there after round two, ratings will go through the roof.
No doubt. Yeah, I agree with
you. But the sad reality is, it's just not going to happen anymore. You're probably going to see maybe Rory finally come through.
Lowry, is that what you said?
Rory, that's my
Rory.
accent. I'm sorry, it comes through every other week.
Yeah, okay.
But I feel bad for Tiger. Once the son makes the tour, maybe they can play some dual events together. But it's just not there anymore.
Yeah, and he's
But
going to keep
they'll-
going. Yeah, and he'll keep going.
and his health is going to be there. But and he's not. And the other thing is, he's not playing enough to physically do it. On top of it, you can practice all you want. We talk about the Allen Iverson term. It's just practice. But at the end of the day, it is just practice. He's not going out. And how many competitions is he going to play this year?
Yeah, it sounds like just the majors.
So if he's only going to do the majors, is his body really in golfing shape?
No, it's not. It's not. I that's why they play these tournaments too. That's why these guys are all out there. Well, they and they make money. But yes, I agree. I totally agree with you. I don't think you can just show up and win majors. Yes.
And then just real quick on basketball, what have we seen over the past 2 years? The teams that have won the tournament have less one-and-done players than the teams that are not making it.
That's the newer trend.
The Kentuckys and everyone.
Yep.
Connecticut is a perfect example of keeping a core group together and winning. Purdue, core group together, almost winning. But you look at the Kentuckys, Calipari is great at getting you to the NBA for that core group that makes it. But meanwhile, Hurley has more titles in 2 years than Calipari had in the past 20.
In 15, yeah. No, that's right. All right, man, good to hear you. Don't be a stranger.
All right.
Glad you're around. See
You guys have a good one.
See you. I guess that sounds weird. Glad you're around. Hadn't heard Lenny in a while. So he's kind of where I am. Now, he said he's done. I don't know if this next year he feel better and play a few more events. I just don't think, JG, you could just say I'm only going to play the majors and go out and compete. It's the best in the world. It's the top of the world. And by the way, he couldn't. Now he had the flu last time, but we know his injuries, and I just don't see it. I'd love to. If you're going to ask me to pick one of those four scenarios, he's competitive. He makes the cut, doesn't make the cut. He is on the top of the leaderboard, or he limps off the court. I'm going to guess he might not make the cut. I want to be wrong. This time I want to be wrong.
Could Friday be the last time you see Tiger Woods play golf this season?
Oh, that's always possible. Yeah, that's always possible. I don't think it will be, but it could be. Yeah,
in different spots, but this one just sounds so. It's easy to look at and go, he can't move his ankle, this or that.
But it couldn't before, right? So is this a lot? Like he won the Masters since the surgery, right? He won 2 years ago, 3 years ago, since that car accident, right? So it just feels like they're talking more about the injuries this time through. Is he in worse shape? Does he hurt more than he did a year ago? I don't know the answer, and I really want to see him play a little golf, and I want to see him walk in that limp. Like, we're all rooting for him, man. I want to see it. But it's just hard for me to think a 48-year-old reconstructed dude, no matter how great he is, he's still a human being, is going to go out and beat, half the field of the best golfers in the world who are in their prime and are healthy and and by the way, really freaking good. I want to be wrong. And I know you want me to be wrong, too. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report brought to you by the Albuquerque.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Sports Animal. So I got a bunch of Tiger stuff that's coming in. This one says too much Tiger Woods talk, especially since he's overrated, excessively marketed, annoyingly hyped, and yet going nowhere now. Okay. Overrated. How's he overrated? Is he not one of the two best golfers ever? Most accomplished ever? I mean, he's not that guy now. Okay. And then
but it's also fascinating. Golf is a game that we could actually talk about someone like Tiger Woods, like Phil Mickelson, and they have a chance to play with Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, and compete.
And they're 48 and 52
because
years old.
it's not stepping on a basketball court. We're not asking him to play quarterback.
By the way, what would the ratings be if Caitlin Clark was in the Masters? Just saying. Like if she could play and she get a sponsor.
There was a basketball hoop on the 18th green.
Carl says on Tiger, it says, Jeff, I just don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's good enough anymore to show up at a major and expect to be sharp without a breeze first going up against dudes that are playing almost every week. One good walkthrough just isn't enough like it might have been for him 20 years ago. I agree with you. Yeah, I think that's right. All right, 505-246-0610. I got some stuff I need to read you to. The conversation we were having before was about college athletics. And do fan bases care more about players? I'm sorry, care more about winning than players? And is that a bad thing? If a player's in for 1 year and then transfers and goes another year and he goes, I'm not looking to single out schools. What's the investment for the player? Going and getting NIL and scramming. And you're wearing your UNM or NMSU or San Diego State or Colorado State or Boise State or Iowa State sweatshirt. That's your alma mater. That's what you love. So I got some text on this. And JJ, this is not wrong. It says players are transferring from every school, Duke, Kentucky, Arizona, etc. Guys that are 5-star players. We have a different perspective of college athletics, and we all have to evolve. Every player wants to win, but some care just as much for the money that will be more than they will make once college is over. To which I agree. It's kind of the point I was trying to make. And then there's this, JJ. I want you to listen to this number. I think this is as of yesterday. There are 1,425 players in the men's basketball portal in the first 23 days. 1,425 players are in the portal. UConn had 4 of its top scorers leave after last year when they won. San Diego State had one of their best players go in the portal after they went to the final last year. And to me, JJ, that's the new reality of this. I'm not mad at it. It just made me think that, after seeing some of the stuff online. And I want you to know, I never said the players don't care. I believe they all care. My question is, do fans care more? Is that dangerous? And as we've talked through it, I've almost got to the point where maybe that's a good thing.
I do believe it's a good thing because you want the fans invested more because fans are buying tickets, supporting the team, watching the games, living day to day, riding that emotional roller coaster. And that's what you want. Because I've talked to so many coaches, they say, you got to be worried when it's indifferent. When they don't care when you win or lose. Yeah. That's when you're in big trouble.
Yeah, because then you're not going to win. Gene wants to know what I make of the reports that the big cat Tiger Woods galloped around Augusta yesterday. He looked great. I think that's one. I think he's going to play, and I think he's going to make some good shots, and then there's going to be times where, oh, did you see him twinge right there? Oh, did he? That's what I think. All right. This one is from Dan, asking me the question, is college basketball dead? It is not dead. But he said, I was listening to your network yesterday after the OD, And there was a talking head screaming that after winning back-to-back belts, UConn has killed college basketball as we grew up watching. They were yelling the John Calipari way of building a program with freshmen and redshirting them so you have the same core for 4 to 5 years is outdated. Now it's all about mercenaries rebuilding rosters from scratch every season. It's from Dan. Yeah, and I don't think that's the John Calipari way. His way was most recently one and done. But
I'm really interested to say who said that, because that is an absolute terrible basketball take.
Yeah, I don't know who said it either.
John Calipari hasn't redshirted anyone in his entire life.
Yeah, it's not the John Calipari way. Now, is that way outdated? It is now.
And that's a terrible take when it comes to UConn. UConn returned a lot of players from last year's
but
team.
they lost players from last year's team too. But yes. There's a difference between is college basketball dead and is college basketball different from what you knew? Numbers will come out. Millions of people watch the tournament.
I'm just interested. Like, that take blows. It's dead because the team won 2 tournaments in a row?
Because it's mercenaries, as he says. It is different. Yeah, dudes are
They had
transferring.
Cam Spencer.
That dude was
Stephen
special.
Castleton was a
Yeah,
freshman.
he was special.
Klingon Caravan returned from last year's team.
Yeah.
Tristan Newton returned from last
Absolutely
year's
he
team.
did.
That's a terrible take.
Yeah, I'm looking at it again. It's all about mercenaries. Look, yeah, you're rebuilding every year from scratch. Let me give you the number again. In the first 23 days the transfer portal has been open, there are 1,425 players in it. Division I. How many are there, JJ? Is it 355 teams? If that's the number. So as of now, there's more than 4 players per team in the portal. As of now. And it's open for another 3 weeks. Dan, I would argue, no, it didn't kill college basketball. It's different. And again, if that's what you love, if you need the guys that were there, and I miss it too. I'm not telling you I like this better. I don't know that a lot of people do except for the players. But if you loved having guys come in for 4 years and learning them and loving them and watching them, okay, then yeah, that might be dead for you. Then you're going to probably either have to adjust or find another game to love, because it's not going backwards. In fact, this week it loosened even further because they're going to approve the unlimited transfer. They just are. So it's where we are.
Like, there's 5 rotation players, starters that returned from last year's UConn team to this one. So I'm just my mind is blown about how bad a take that was on national radio that people listened to, and
if in fact
that
was said. If in fact,
I don't know where it would make it up that a national dude said it.
Lobo Hobo says, boy, I sure don't get this, Jeff, saying Calipari has a huge NIL at his disposal at Arkansas. I thought NIL was supposed to be separate from the university. Coaches weren't supposed to be able to control how much how the moolah is spent. Yeah, I
it is separate, and coaches absolutely know how much NIL money is there from the NIL collective.
Yes, they do. And they work in concert, even though theoretically they're completely different. I mean, I don't even know why they have that rule anymore. But yeah, it's outside of the university. Theoretically, it is a collective that is collecting the money. And I don't know how this works.
The NCAA
yeah,
is like a sheriff in an old Wild West
like
town.
Barney Fife?
That just sits there and watches everything burn. Like,
Yeah.
well, I can't do anything.
Yeah, what do you want me to
There's
do?
more of them than there is of me.
Damn, Kyle.
Like,
I know.
they just sit there.
Do you know how it works? Okay, so you're the coach. You recruit a player. You got a 4-star. You're competing with San Diego State right now for a player. I'm the collective. Do you come to me and say, hey, we got to get this guy this much? Or do I come to you and say, hey, this is how much? Like, who makes the call on how much the guy gets? Theoretically, it's supposed to be the collective, right? But do you, like what's the collaboration? I know there's got to be some. I know there is some.
To me, I think it's just like if you're negotiating a contract.
But how do you recruit a guy with theoretically within the rules? I don't know. Go talk to my collective guy, and then you go
because right now,
yeah,
everyone's doing it.
Yeah,
so they're
So
looking
nobody
around
cares?
and say, why would you tell on me if then it opens your stuff up on you? So.
Well, and they're just not going to enforce it. And at some point, if they enforce it, it'll probably be litigated and they'll lose anyway. All right. 505-246-0610. 888-922-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Oh, he's got a big famous name, but he's not the big famous guy. But he's got a big, giant contract. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Discover.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But as the people
So, text says most players now have agents representing groups of players, and the agents are having the conversations with the collective and negotiating the valuation. Coaches are involved with the collectives in what their needs are, but stay out of the money conversation. Okay. Think they stay out of the money conversation? 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. This is on the text line as well. All good points, but man, is being a Lobo fan a lot of tough. LOL. Yeah, man. Yes, being a fan, period, is a lot of tough, isn't it? Being a fan.
Yes. It's why when you have good moments the week of Vegas, enjoy it, because it will refill your hope meter, because that's going to drain very quickly. And you're going to feel bad. And you'll be upset, because that's sports.
Yes, it is. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. We're, what, about 2 weeks away now? Is it 2 weeks from tomorrow, NFL draft?
25th.
Yeah, so what's today? 2 weeks from tomorrow. And there, a lot of stuff going on. Josh Allen got paid. No, not that Josh Allen, but that Josh Allen. Does that make sense? So Josh Allen is the quarterback of the Bills. He'd already been paid. Josh Allen is the pass rusher of the Jaguars. He's also really, really good. So maybe, I don't know, name your kid Josh Allen. Josh Allen Buck. Josh Allen's Josh Allen's really good. 5 years, $150 million, $88 million guaranteed. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. He had that franchise tag. He was set to make $24 million if he played on that tender, but he got 5 years at $150 million. He's really good. He racked like 6th in pressures and 10th in sacks, and so $88 million guaranteed. Good day to be a Josh Allen. No,
pretty darn good day. Because what do? You protect the quarterback,
and you get the quarterback,
and you get to a quarterback.
Yeah. Those are the two
things you got to focus on outside of having the quarterback.
Well, that's it. Did you see the story on this Chiefs superfan, this Chiefsaholic guy, this Xavier Babudar?
Yes, the
thief.
ESPN did a great thing a while back on that whole story. He's a bank robber.
He's a bank robber. He's a bank robber, and he got busted. He's got, and I don't know how you tell a guy like that to pay $10.8 million back. But yeah, he's got to pay like superfan. They must be so proud. Like the guy that
that's a fascinating story because he was a recognizable figure on social media. Everyone at the Chiefs games knew him. He was driving to all these games. Like, why is he just driving everywhere? Like long road trips, and you're like, oh, because who's funding his trips a certain way?
It's insane, that whole story. All right, 505-246-0610. It's where we are. Come on in and play radio with us today. Love to have you. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Jerry Palm will be with us tomorrow. See if he's healed after the Purdue beatdown from CBS Sports. That'll be at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Looking forward to having him with us. When we get back, NBA is hot. It's going to the playoffs, and there were some big stories yesterday. It's the opening drive, and you want to know about it on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Outlet.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Boot Camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one, both of them, gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consultant.
An Achilles injury, that it is a strained calf, but I think everybody's pretty concerned about this. Somewhat a bit reminiscent of Kevin Durant's injury a few years back. Opening drive, good morning to you on a Friday. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, you're welcome to get in and actually encouraged to at 505-246-0610. That is the Sports Animal text line and our phone line. Emails this morning, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ, Todd said, I hope JJ gets paid for OD double duty, producing on this, on top of his award-winning co-hosting responsibilities. From Todd. I hope so too. We're all you should be getting double.
Appreciate the love the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kind of odd, huh?
It's different. Usually it's the other way when people are coming at me on the radio.
Yeah. We've had a lot of conversation today about just the way college athletics is. And I asked the question earlier, coming off of it was somewhat prompted by what's happening at Kentucky and the passion of fan bases, especially college fan bases, right? You grew up with something, you go to a school, it's your alma mater, and the passion of a fan base and the faces every year change, and more so now than they did even in the past. It's a changing landscape of rosters, and do fans care? And not to make a blanket statement, can fans care more than the players? And if they do, is that a bad thing? Is it a good thing? Richard said on Mercenaries, because this morphed into where we are in college athletics. And I believe the number in the first 23 days of the transfer portal is 1,425 players are in the portal in the first 25 days of men's basketball. It's just where we are. And so Richard said, Jeff, most of these guys aren't going. How much of this is not necessarily getting into a better situation, but getting your ego stroked one final time? Hearing other coaches beg how bad they want you, that they can make that you can be the difference maker. Having other schools, cheerleaders, and chaparrals post on the social media thingy, hope you come play for us, smiling face. Richard, I would tell you it's more about the NIL money, and for the players who are in that position, the players who aren't going pro, they're probably going to make, or some of them, not all of them, some players will make more money now, NIL money, and they're trying to maximize it, and I don't blame them for that, because that's the system now, than they will when they graduate and get a real job. Right? I mean,
there's still a lot of factors that come into play. NIL is at the top of it, and this is why there needed to be a faster adjustment, because to your point, this is the height of so many of these men's and women's athletic career. And it's like you come back and you're like, oh yeah, you can go sign autographs and be this person, but that like, you can't maximize as much as you can now. And that's what it was supposed to be. Now it's just pay for playing contracts, and we got to figure all this stuff out. But a lot of it is, even if we're not talking six figures, it is, can I get an extra $2,000, $1,000? Like, that's what's on the table.
No, those conversations are had too. 100%. Can I get an extra grand, or can I get $5,000, or for a semester? Yeah, 100%. Those.
Remember the conversation? Was it a year ago, 2 years ago, with Heather Dyke, UNM women's soccer coach, and they're like, "Yeah, we lost out on a potential player over $8,000
to an in-conference school."
Yep.
Right? Yeah, and that was women's soccer. I know.
So just imagine the numbers.
Yeah. Howard, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Howie.
Good morning, gentlemen. J.J. Buck, the Chuck Bednarik of the OD in the AM. How about that? You remember Chuck Bednarik, the two-way player?
Yep.
Way back.
Yep. Yeah, he was old school. You should see all the mud and dirt on his face. His face mask was all bent. He's getting beat. I mean, he's getting beat up back then.
He was getting beat up. He was playing line on both sides, on the offensive, defensive.
No
Chuck
doubt.
Bednarik. JJ's the replica. Hey, so you know what? Lobo fan, basketball fan, it's tough being a Lobo. You know what? Like JJ said, cherish Vegas. You just came off something that hadn't been done in the 25 year of the Mountain West Conference tournament. I mean, and I venture to say I will be long taking a dirt nap before it ever happens again. So if it ever happens again, I mean, cherish that as a building block on the future, because I do. And I feel like that was progress. I was super disappointed losing to Clemson, but you got to focus on the good, Now, I wanted to weigh in on what you gentlemen thought about the possibility of Bronny getting drafted, because I believe he'll play college ball next year. What do you guys think?
My gut tells me the same thing. Where are you?
College basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to play college ball. I mean, I can't, unless it's just some sort of publicity play to see if it can entice some interest from an NBA club to maybe reach out and try to, I don't even know if contractually James can go to another team or not, but I think Bronny is, I don't know that he's NBA material, guys, but can he develop into it? I'm sure he probably could, but that's an interesting one. And JJ, good job. And guys, thank you for taking my call. Have a good day.
LeBron James can do whatever he wants, man. If he says, I want to go to the Pistons, he can go to the Pistons. I mean, like he's the guy that can do whatever he wants right?
Yes.
Wow. I think Bronny's going to do another year. I think it's best for him. I think, he's leaving SC, and I could see him at Ohio State. The Duquesne thing really, really intrigues me. To see him go to a non-high profile school, to play for a guy that was LeBron's teammate.
High school teammate.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, to me, this is a little different conversation than the other prospects we're projecting for. Because a lot of times and I know we've had so many of these conversations, like, I just don't see it. And I'm like, well, this is why person X is going in the draft now, because of what they could be. For me, I think if you're Bronny, like, just go play your basketball for yourself. Because he had to overcome so much. The dude almost lost it all when he collapsed before the season with the heart condition. So I think, does he have pro potential? His last name is always going to be intriguing, but just for the young man himself, like, go get yourself a full year of college basketball, a complete off season, kind of a fresh start, which I think even for him, kind of being out of the shadow of LA,
I agree with that.
Be good.
I totally agree. Sid's in on Mr. Buck has become a stud, Mr. Symbiota. You see him rubbing elbows with the honchos at these pressers. They don't even allow the unwashed masses like Sid in the built. That's right. No, he is a stud. He is a stud. And I hope he's getting paid double. Hey, this conversation brought out Jason. I got a Hall of Famer emailing us, and it's actually pretty interesting. Well, I want to get you the thoughts on college athletics from him, and continue your thoughts. This is a really interesting conversation, and I don't know that it's anything new. I mean, we've been talking about where it is in transfer portals and NIL, and I think at some point you've all accepted it, or if you're still fighting it, The Calipari thing, though, really is brought it to another angle on it. And because he was at the forefront of this one and done, the last real turn in college athletics, he was at the forefront of it. He embraced the one and done before everybody else did. And finally Duke came around, realized, oh man, we got to do this. And he won. And then it became, well, now it's the other way. Now you got to get older because guys are staying longer because they're getting paid. And he was late to that party and got run out, right? And that's how fast college basketball is evolving. And I just, it just led me to the question. The fan bases care more. Now I'm going to tell you coaches and administrations care because that's their livelihood. But we'll continue this conversation. And CeeDee Lamb, the Cowboys wide receiver, what he had to say about holding out and his not contract extension. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Travis Kelce's girlfriend. Travis Kelce from...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Warriors last night, 120 or 134, 120. Warriors hit 26 3-pointers. Draymond Green was 5 of 7. Steph Curry was 6 of 6. Klay Thompson 5 of 10.
Bang!
That's why people seem to think the Warriors are dangerous, because they've got that firepower. Now that's a once in a season for Draymond. I mean, that's not going to be.
Yeah.
But the other two, dude, if Klay finds the range going in the playoffs, if they get out of the play-in tournament, they can be dangerous. No.
Of course, they can be dangerous. They have Steph Curry. Draymond Green still does the little things that help that team. Defensively, ball movement. Klay Thompson, we know, can get streaky. And I really like, and some of it's because he was forced to, with Draymond Green being out of the picture at times this season for his actions, the way Steve Kerr has worked in the young players on this roster. That kid out of Santa Clara, the rookie, is legit.
Yep. And he can shoot.
And then you have, Jonathan Kuminga coming in, Andrew Wiggins back in the fold.
It's going to be interesting to see how the play-in tournament ends up. Right now, it is so the Suns dropped into the play-in tournament yesterday. They got beat by the Clippers last night. So Phoenix is 6. New Orleans is 7 right now. I'm sorry, Sacramento is 7. And right behind them, and the Lakers could have moved out of the 9 spot into 8. So Phoenix is, let me give you this game. Phoenix is 7. They're in the play-in tournament. They'll play Sacramento right now. The Lakers are half game back of Sacramento. They would have jumped Sacramento into the 7-8 game if they would have won last night, but they didn't. And now the Warriors are just a half game behind the Lakers for home court in that 9-10 game. So it's really, really fascinating. This one also is crazy to me, JJ. So the Bucks and Celtics played last night. Bucks beat the Celtics by a score of 104-91. Giannis Antetokounmpo left the game, which was feared to be an Achilles injury, which was going to be huge, and I still think it's significant. Strained calf. JJ, the two teams combined to shoot 2 free throws in the game. In an NBA game.
Bearing the lead in all this.
Yeah.
It should be the second story. Like, how does that happen?
The Celtics became the first team in NBA history to not shoot a free throw in a game.
That is more shocking to me than Giannis getting hurt.
It's more shocking. It's not more consequential. Right.
But I saw that and I'm like, how is that even possible? Were the referees, did they all have the same play out of town?
Let's just get the hell out of here.
And they're
they
like,
dinner.
we cannot call fouls. Like, that's impossible. That is legit. You are not calling things to get to that point.
It's insane, right?
Between both teams.
I just don't even know how it happened. It was physical. It was an NBA game. There was a previous record. The Hawks and Grizzlies in 2014 and 2018 shared the record of they only had 1 free throw in a game. The Bucks committed just 4 fouls in the whole game.
Now, I appreciate
that's the fewest in the history of the league.
A game that has a solid rhythm.
Okay.
That does not get too foul happy. But at some point in time, you got to figure that you shoot at least 1 free throw in the back.
Do you know what the previous record of fewest free throws shot but combined by the two teams in a game was? So this is now the record. They shot 2, right? Combined. Do you know what the previous record was?
6?
11. Back in 2019, Indiana shot 5 and the Magic had 6. 11. I don't even know how. To your point, that's the headline. It's the most shocking thing. It's not the most consequential. I mean, the injury is the most consequential. But
yes,
holy
because that
smokes.
shifts the entire Eastern Conference. I think that allows Philadelphia, even though that they're sitting in the plane right now, I think that puts them in position to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Actually make it there with Joel Embiid.
Who scored, 37 last night? Is that what I told you? Yeah, something bonkers like that. So, yeah, the NBA is interesting, and you're going to start paying a lot of attention because the playoffs are going to start next week. All right, emails, Jeff at SportsAnimal, abq.com, JJ at SportsAnimalABQ.com. This came in from Jason. It says, greetings from the football school. Good morning, OD. Now that college hoops season has finished, we can now turn our attention to everyone's favorite pastime. Realignment, coaching moves, portal moves, and the conversation of, is college athletics broken? Jeff, you asked the question, are we at the point where fans care more than the athletes? I submit 2 things can be true at once, and it might be a question answered based on your personal experience. Athletes sacrifice time, energy, relationships, missed funerals, weddings, and everything in between to train and play. I remember a friend whose parents were so grateful that their son was able to play in your bowl game because it was the first time in 4 years that the athlete was able to spend the holidays with his family. Fans sacrifice money for tickets, give to NIL, follow their teams, like the players' luggage from venue to venue, which all speaks to emotion, time, and money. Let's be honest. If their team loses or doesn't have the success that the fan can crow about, that fan's passion may wane. What do the stands look like for Lobo football is Exhibit A. Exhibit B, how was the passion for Lobo hoops pre-Patino? I submit those players cared and care a lot. Players care about their game, their performance is as much a part of their resume as much as where they graduate from for their non-athletic life. They play the game. I had the privilege to be a student athlete at the school for which I root and a fan of a school from which I earned a post-grad degree. My fandom for New Mexico State is greater than UNLV without question, but of course my days were in a different era. So it's an answer which depends on your experience. Jason, by way of UNLV, through New Mexico State, off the board out of AWJC, straight out of Cactus High School by way of Picacio MS, homage to the legend. All right, so a preface, again, never did I insinuate players don't care. Okay? They do. The question was, do they care more? Do fans in some situations care more? That's all.
And the answer is yes, because college athletics is built differently. You have a direct connection. Very few people can say they played or worked for an NFL franchise. But you went to school somewhere. You invested time
you can
in an institution. You can that. And you can directly affect the outcome
with your NIL contribution.
With what you can do to a team. Booster club, NIL. You can sit at the same table as coach and feel like I'm special. Because a coach has to sit down with me because I have money. You ain't sitting down with Jerry Jones.
That's right.
Mike McCarthy is not responding to your email.
Yeah, again, yes. And that's a pretty deep email. The emotional investment that you get as a fan over years, and it goes deeper and deeper, right? The more history you have. Some of you are bigger fans in your 30s than you were in your teens, or 40s than you were in your 20s, or whatever, right? And then if you put more money into it, and you've got more years of emotional scarring, right? It is what it is. But yeah, that was actually really good. Harold wants to know who makes the final call. So when you have Heather Dyke or Tom Paul Glazer tugging on the purse strings, I need NIL money, the Lobo fans are crying, well, we better pay Dent and Dampier. Who decides how the George Washingtons are spent?
It's an easy answer.
It's going to football. It's going to basketball. It's not going to soccer. And if there's
the
something
collective is invested in what they like, and the majority of collectives are centered around basketball and football.
Where's women's basketball playing this?
Very small piece.
And when there's only one, and again, this is the whole collective industry is fascinating.
I was told by Kurt Roth that they did have every women's player signed to an NIL deal, but it's not six figures.
Can I ask you, if you are, whoever you are, say you want to spend, say I want to give $100,000 to the collective, but I want it to go to women's basketball. Can you do that? Yeah, I'm sure you can, right?
At this point, if you were going to do that,
you do it on your own.
Yeah, just be like, hey, I'm going to run the women's basketball team for
you just
2
say,
years.
I'm going to, I want to give the money to women's basketball because you can, and I'd like them to do 3 social posts a week for my business, right? That's how you could absolutely run that, right? I know you can. So it's winding and waving and evolving and yeah. All right, I did want to hit this. So CeeDee Lamb, the Cowboys are saying they're poor. CeeDee Lamb wants his money, and he's holding out. And he made it clear. He you know who he told? There was one Cowboy that told TMZ that he said, "I'll be in Dallas," Right now he's going through his normal off season, relaxing, chilling, working out, of course, but I'm going to be back in Dallas. So he knows where he's going to be. He just, dude, guys hate camp anyway. Right? Training camp's not fun.
That means nothing to me.
What?
CeeDee Lamb can be in Dallas and hold out at the same time.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's 100% right. As long as he's not in the car with our shoe
not
racks.
racing around with their shoe racks.
Yeah, as long as he's not with shoe racks. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Emails coming in this morning, as they always do. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. It became official. We now have numbers. John Calipari to Arkansas. What the numbers are, where that's going, and how it became official this morning, and where does Kentucky go next? That's next on the opening drive. International Protective Service continues to do amazing things. They heard you when you asked for their help to protect businesses and homeowners in Santa Fe. Lots of calls come in now for service up in Santa Fe, and if you live in Santa Fe and you're concerned about threats to your property, call IPS. I'll give you the number here in a minute. In Albuquerque, police response is still hours, especially for home or business break-ins. In most cases, IPS is there in 7 minutes or less. They install alarms and camera systems. They monitor those cameras 24/7 to raise the level of security around your home or business. You've noticed IPS officers at some local stores, Targets, Walmarts. They're making a difference for those stores, and they can help you too. They've watched my home for years. They help me and my neighbors. Your home's supposed to be a place of security. And if someone breaks in, it's devastating for that sense of security, and you don't know when someone's going to break in. Let IPS keep their eyes on your home, on your business around the clock. The number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe safer places to live and work.
Travis Kelce's girlfriend. Travis Kelce!
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making.
Go to the rivalry of enchantment. Aggies are 13-18. They're 2-7 in Conference USA. Won 2 in a row now. Lobos dropped to 16-15, 7-5. They'll return to conference play. They have lost 6 in a row, has New Mexico, as the Aggies beat the Lobos last night 10-2 in baseball. Email on that is from AC. Lobo fans love to remind Aggie fans about baseball scores. Well, 10-2 Aggies last night. You like apples? How you like them apples? Says Aggie. 10-2 last night down in Las Cruces. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. All right. JJ, breaking news. I mean, out of nowhere, John Calipari just is officially the head coach at Arkansas. I say in jest. Obviously, we knew this was happening. They made it official this morning. Calipari's contract, 5 years, starts at $7 million per season, maximum of 2 automatic rollovers for the NCAA tournament appearances, which would extend it through 2031. He's got incentives, $1 million signing bonus, $500,000 retention bonuses annually, additional bonuses for the NCAA tournament and getting through each round. He was making 8.5 at Kentucky. I'm going to guess he's going to be okay, only making $7 million at Arkansas. But it became official today. This is the statement from.
It's tough.
On $7 million.
Yeah, because it means you can lease one less Lamborghini.
Well, I don't know. Is it cheaper to live in Arkansas and Fayetteville than it is in Lexington?
Lamborghini leasing prices.
Yeah, that's probably right. This is Hunter Yurchek, the athletic director at Arkansas, and why he went with Calipari. Quote, as I visited with Coach Calipari during this process, he acknowledged the tremendous opportunity we have at the University of Arkansas to attract and retain top players and compete for championships. He understands the deep passion of Razorback Nation and has experienced the tremendous home court advantage of Bud Welton Arena. I have no doubt that under Coach Calipari's leadership, and with the collective support of all those who love the Hogs, Razorback basketball will continue to maintain its national prominence within college basketball. End quote. Collective being the key word there, and there will be a lot of money. I have no doubt Cal's going to win there. I have no doubt that Cal will win at Arkansas, and I'll call it now. I'll bet they're in the Elite Eight next year. I have no idea who's on their team, but I'll bet he throws together a roster and he's going to recruit there, and they've got money. And
that's the big factor. You know, John Calipari can handle college athletes. He can handle them in this day and age because he's dealing with the high profile one and dones for a while. Now you add NIL on top of that. Like, he can play the game whatever way it needs to be played. But then you bring him in, and you don't need to sell anyone on Calipari.
That's right.
This is such a home run for Arkansas. Like, this doesn't happen at many places. Because even we were talking about the Louisville hire, and they bring in Pat Kelsey and this coach from Charleston, or any of these other jobs. USC trying to start Eric Musselman. There's zero sales job. Like, everyone's all in day one when you say we just hired John Calipari.
So there's another piece to this, I think. Cal's and I don't know Cal, but he's a hell of a competitor. His whole career, you go back and look and where he's won. I mean, you'll go start at the beginning. nothing is going to motivate a dude like this. Like something like this, what went down. Nothing's going to refocus a guy like this at 65 years old. What does he have to prove? Well, he kind of has to prove that he still has it, right? Like, he doesn't have to prove that he can coach. He's got a Hall of Fame resume. He is a Hall of Famer. But nothing's going to remotivate a guy that everybody telling you can't do something, that it's passed you by, because he was slow to evolve this time around. He did stay with the young one-and-done prospects when college basketball shifted off of that, and it hurt him. And nothing's going to motivate a guy who I still think has his fastball and is probably still really, 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 really good.
Here's the thing.
Something like this. Yeah.
To your point. Even in name, image, and likeness era, and it feels like everyone still has, everyone has a bigger opportunity. This dude still landing 4 to 5 top 100 kids per class.
That's fine. Because when it's all said and done, you can be as old as you want, but what wins? Talent. You can get me all these fifth-year seniors that you want. Talent still wins, doesn't it? And he's going to get the talent. One other coaching thing. I really want to acknowledge this. And I don't know how many people kind of understand what Tara Vanderveer did. She is college basketball's all-time wins leader, Stanford's women's basketball coach. And in this age where, and really in this week, where we are loving on women's basketball, as we should, she retired after 38 seasons at that school. She's 70 years old. But she won 1,216 games, led Stanford to 3 national championships, and went through an era of great change in women's college basketball. They are going to promote Kate Pay, her current assistant head coach. She's a former player there. But she was at Ohio State, she was at Idaho, and then the majority of her career at Stanford. And, I mean, go back, she started coaching JJ at Idaho in 1978. 2 seasons later, went to Ohio State, 5 years there, went to the Elite Eight, and then went to Stanford. She went to something.
A ride.
Yeah. You got to love something a lot to continue doing that. All right. Text line from Terry. The Caitlin Clark moment at the Masters will be the first time Charlie tees it up. Numbers will be crazy if he makes the cut. Charlie Woods. All right. We're a few years away from that, I think. Charlie Woods at the Masters. I'm just telling you, if Caitlin Clark played at the Masters this weekend, though. Oh.
How do you amateurs qualify?
You got to win. I think if you win the U.S. Amateur, you qualify. I think there's a few qualifying tournaments for this particular one. Certainly the U.S. Open and the PGA. There's different qualifying processes. But I believe if you win the U.S. Amateur, probably European Amateur. I don't know exactly, but there is a qualifying process through some tournament. I don't know that they have sponsor exemptions at the Masters, like at the John Deere, at the Valspar, right? Valspar gets 5 spots or whatever, 6 spots. And it's usually it's a pro with a big name that somehow didn't qualify. Text line question: will Calipari continue to be able to recruit one and dones to Arkansas? Will he have different model? He did get Derrick Rose to Memphis. I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me the difference between like Lexington's actually a pretty cool town. It really is. And I've never been to Fayetteville. But are these 5-star athletes going to Kentucky to go live in Lexington or go to play for Calipari?
It was Calipari. It was the brand.
Yeah.
I think.
And by the way, the brand that he's going to doesn't suck.
No, it does. It's not Kentucky.
Oh, it's not.
But what changes that is the extra NIL money.
He was living.
Of course, he knows how to handle it.
Yes. And
how do you think he got Marcus Camby? How do you think he got Derrick Rose?
Arkansas is an SEC brand. You're right. They're not Kentucky basketball. You're right. But they're a pretty damn good brand.
Facilities,
fan base, history,
energy in the building.
Look, if again, go off of the top blue bloods, the Duke, Carolina, UCLA, Kentucky, Kansas, right? Michigan State, maybe. They're an SEC brand that's won before.
Yeah. So that's what matters for the fans.
Yeah. And the players, too.
No.
You don't think so?
No. We won a national title in 1994.
How much money am I getting?
You can't. At some point in time, you can't say that.
But
like you can't.
They
Recruit
were in the
a kid
Elite
to-
Eight. How many?
Yeah,
What? 3
that's-
years
that's
ago?
different.
2 years ago?
Like you can't recruit a kid to UNO and be like,
Yeah, look at
that's
1980.
91.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Okay, but they were in the Elite Eight, what, 3 years ago? I mean, it's not that long that you can win here, is my point. And, oh, by the way, look at the NIL money. All right, everything you need to know as you go through your, what day is today? Wednesday. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Hour.
This is Boomer Esiason.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver.
Coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
To give up by a pitching staff in a minor league baseball, AAA baseball, would you say would be a lot of walks?
7.
Isotopes pitching, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, 6 pitchers last night. Isotopes pitchers issued 14 walks last night, hit 2 more batters. So that was 16 free passes. They gave up 8 hits and committed 3 errors. You think they won? You can't win at any level if you're walking 14 batters, hitting 2 more, and committing 3 errors. That's 19 free passes you gave away.
The curse of the Thunder Cup continues. How will the Isotopes break this curse?
Should I demand the frickin' Sunday back?
Can't take it back now.
Why not?
It was delivered.
Wait a minute.
It was enjoyed.
They were pretty crummy last year in the first half of the season, too, way before I gave them a Sunday.
Not
Or
the
I
second half
didn't
of
give
the
them
season.
anything. I ordered it.
Not the second half.
No, but the first half, they were...
Yeah,
they
but
were
it's
bad.
supposed to
Is this
be
not the first half?
carryover from the second half.
Yeah, I'm not taking it. All I did was order a Sunday for the skipper's birthday.
And you took the focus.
Oh,
away
and
from
you
baseball.
were over there going, yeah, that's a good idea.
I am not.
You're not an
the star.
accomplice here.
I am not the name that is known.
Is due any moment. If she goes into labor, does he leave the golf course? What'd you do? I mean, it's your kid, dude. Like, and it's the Masters. And what do you do? Squeeze? Hold on?
Keep, honey. Just you might think you're going into labor. You're not. It's fine.
I know your water broke. You got time. All right. Arkansas has officially hired John Calipari. 5 years, $7 million is his deal to be the head coach at Arkansas with a bunch of incentives. The Eagles we knew were playing on Friday of opening week of the National Football League season. We now know against whom they will play. It will be the Green Bay Packers. That was announced today. Celtics made history. First team in the history of the NBA. I want you to just think about this and how insane this is. First team in the history of the NBA to not shoot a free throw in an NBA game. In fact, the Bucks and the Celtics yesterday made history. For the fewest free throws combined, they shot 2. 2. Bucks beat the Celtics last night by a score of 104-91. Giannis Antetokounmpo left the game with what was feared at the time to be a Achilles injury. It has been deemed to be a calf injury since. He's day to day. I just want to give you I want to look at something as far as comparisons to the 2 free throws that were shot total. Jamal Murray last night. No, that's not fair. No, there wasn't a lot in this game either. The Nuggets only shot 11 free throws last night. I just
I can understand those numbers in the game.
Okay,
but 0 is wild.
0 is wild. How many do you think LeBron shot? I don't even know yet. I'm going to tell you. LeBron James scored, 33 points last night? He only shot 5 free throws. Lakers shot 24 free throws. Warriors shot 21. So in that game, there were 45 free throws taken. And in the Celtics-Bucks game, there were 2.
Someone scheduled the wrong flight for the referees.
Either that or they had dinner reservations that they had to get to. D'Angelo Russell shot 6.
Even in 2 weeks from now. But having him in the rotation, this is a team that I already think can win a series or 2 as is.
No doubt.
And that just solidifies it for me with Karl-Anthony Towns back, because if you haven't noticed, you're going to notice Anthony Edwards is that next guy. He's on that shelf of, this dude can win you a series in the playoffs.
Okay. I've watched playoff basketball for a lot of years. And I know going in is not what it looks like coming out. I know dudes get hurt, and I know depth in the playoff matters. Now, that doesn't mean you're going 9 deep every night, but I do know that somebody's going to get hurt and miss 2 games or a game here, and they're going to be key games. And to have him, and fine, you're going to tell me I only get 22 minutes out of him? That's 22 minutes out of a stud.
22 minutes that you weren't getting out of him before, and you were able to maintain the top seed in the Western Conference.
All you did is add an all-NBA caliber player, right? Back to a team that is tied for the number 1 spot in the West. Look out for Minnesota as you go through this. But that just came down a short while ago. That's a big, big deal.
Because they tasted it last year. And this is kind of the debate you're trying to have with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
The Thunder are incredibly good. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, is he one of those players that's good enough that he can overcome a young team that hasn't had playoff experience? You look at Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, the other mainstays on that team, they haven't been there. And so Minnesota, they're a team that tasted it. Yeah, they got split by the Nuggets last year, but they were in that position. Edwards, Gobert, Karl-Anthony Towns, that entire group. So that's why you trust them more this season. The Thunder, to me, are the fascinating case because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it's not just a young team going in. It's talking about, like, that dude is top 3 MVP consideration right now.
Let me give you one more number from last night. One more historic number. Kind of a weird night in the NBA, right? The Warriors, in the history of the NBA, when a team has taken more than 40 three-point attempts. And there's been 3,400 of those instances. You had freaking Draymond Green, 5 for 7. He was out of his mind. So Lakers lose last night. They had a chance to move out of the 9-10 game, and instead they're a half game ahead of Golden State for the 9th spot. All right, good stuff today. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd will be after that. 2 Men On is here at 4 o'clock, and then Isotopes Baseball against the Sugarland Space Cowboys. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Jerry Palm will be with us tomorrow. We'll have a cool Masters segment as well. The Masters will be underway. Adrian, great work. Looks good on the visual side. JJ, big day for you?
Huge day. I'm going to try to figure out this Thunder Cup curse.
All right, go talk to the boss. See what we can do about it. All right, enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.